I'm here in beautiful Santa Barbara, California to drive this, the 6th generation 2023 Honda CR-V, and not the turbo version. This, folks, is the hybrid. And before we get into it, let's appreciate its new look with a little cinematic B-roll, shall we? The Honda CR-V was first introduced in 1997 as their compact recreation vehicle, or maybe it was a comfortable runabout vehicle. Either way, it's a hot-selling SUV. Now, the newest generation has a more rugged and handsome look. It has a longer wheelbase and wider stance than the outgoing model, but still retains its classic D-pillar taillights. As far as power, the base CR-V now comes with a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, making 190 horsepower linked to a CVT. But the hybrid model not only looks sportier with a different front and rear end, it's also more powerful with 2 electric motors paired to a 2-liter engine, putting out a combined 204 horsepower. All right, let's drive this thing. Okay, so off the line, there's adequate power. I mean, when you're getting a vehicle like this, you're looking for fuel efficiency, not to win drag races. So when you're pedaling to the grocery store, to daycare, this has perfectly adequate power. I will note though, the engine does tend to drone a little bit when you're going uphill. Thankfully, there's simulated gears, so you won't have to deal with that droning. And I'll also add that there's sound deadening material throughout the cabin, so it's not really prominent when you're really laying on it. See, it's not that bad. And when you're not laying on the throttle, the cabin is relatively quiet. There's not a lot of wind noise or road noise thanks to the CR-V's wheels, which also reduce the noise coming into the cabin. Two-wheel drive model CR-Vs are estimated to get a combined 40 miles per gallon, which is pretty on par with the hybrid compact SUV segment, while the all-wheel drive models take a ding in efficiency with a combined 37 miles per gallon, which trails behind the Toyota RAV4 and Escape hybrid variants with all-wheel drive. Getting some good fuel economy in a compact SUV is always a good thing. And even if you want to kick up some more efficiency, there's drive modes like Eco, which smoothens out your throttle input so you're not wasting that much fuel. On the opposite spectrum of the drive modes, there's Sport mode. And when you throw it in there, throttle response is a bit more responsive and they pump in sound throughout the cabin. So that's Sport mode. Yeah, get after it. Yeah, you hear that? This is normal. Where'd the sound go? Magic. Sport mode. Normal. And the reason they do that is because they believe the drivers should experience some joy when you're, throwing your compact SUV into a turn. They also have these paddles behind the steering wheel. They're not calling them paddle shifters, but they do control the regenerative braking feel. So you can level all the way down to level 4, or they have a new B mode on the shifter. And when you put that down, it acts like a one-pedal drive mode. And this doesn't reset. The paddles do. So if you want that one-pedal feel throughout your drive, just throw it in the B mode. The only thing is, it's a one-pedal feel. So that means it doesn't come to a complete stop. So don't forget to use your brakes. And speaking of brake feel, I like the brakes on the CR-V. They're not squishy and they're not inconsistent like a lot of hybrids out there. They're really nice and smooth and you can come to a complete stop very, very easily. All right, CR-V, good job. The CR-V hybrid is now more rigid than before. The 15% stiffer body supports help for a smoother ride and improved steering feel. There's also a new all-wheel drive system capable of distributing 50% of the power to the front and back. And if that's not enough newness for you, there's also a new added snow mode which smoothens throttle input even more than the Eco mode. And the CR-V Hybrid can now tow 1,000 pounds. All right, I'm gonna make a left-hander fairly quickly. Let's see how that all-wheel drive system feels. Pretty good. I mean, I didn't get any tire squeal, but I feel like the CR-V was planted and it wasn't gonna slip out anywhere. I would say the all-wheel drive system feels pretty nice if you want to do a little bit more spirited driving, but just make sure you do it safely, okay? Even on a windy road, the CR-V sticks to the road quite well. I'm on this back road and there's a lot of twists and turns. And as far as suspension, I mean, the McPherson struts in front, they really don't transfer a lot of motion into the cabin. And the CR-V feels planted. I feel very confident, and I have it in sport mode, so the throttle response is a little more abrupt, and it definitely feels good. You can have some fun in your compact SUV. A lot of fun potential. I dig it. I gotta say, the seats are very comfortable in here. I'm 6'4", I feel just fine. I have enough leg room. The steering wheel feels great. And these A-pillars for this generation have been pushed back a little bit, so this windshield is just blown wide open, and I really enjoy that. It feels like you're not driving a super huge vehicle. It actually feels like something you can really control and get used to, especially for long road trips and just going around town. Looking inside the cabin, the CR-V Hybrid feels well put together. Behind the second row, there's 36.3 cubic feet of cargo room, and fold down the 60/40 split seats to yield 76.5 cubic feet. There's 8 cup holders throughout the cabin and standard rear vents to keep your backseat folks cool. Up front, there's a 7-inch gauge cluster, 2 spots for your cell phones, and 2 USB ports. A 7-inch touchscreen comes standard, but our model has the available 9-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Inside the cabin, the first row feels nice and spacious. There's plenty of room. The materials feel well put together and they're nice and soft. You get a great responsive touchscreen with a ledge for your inputs. And all of the vent clicks and the knob switches, they feel great and they sound great as well. Yeah, that's some good stuff. In the second row, me at 6'4", I have plenty of space seated behind myself. Loads of knee room, lots of headroom. Plus, the rear seats, they can recline 8 different ways, which is great if you want to dial in your comfort level. And also, these doors open up nice and wide to get car seats in and out of here. And if you have a rear-facing car seat, it won't jam your passenger up because they have loads of space up there. That's a great touch. Keeping you and your passengers safe is the Honda Sensing suite of safety features, which includes forward collision mitigation, road departure warning, lane keep assist, and adaptive cruise control with low speed follow. I do notice that visibility over my right shoulder isn't that great, thanks to that high-rising belt line in the back, but thankfully you got blind spot monitoring and it does a great job of letting you know somebody is in your blind spot. And speaking of safety equipment, the lane centering assist, it's not too grabby and it works just fine. I'm drifting off and it'll put me right back in the lane and keep me right on path. Thanks for keeping me safe, Honda. Hybrid SUVs are the latest craze, so if you're looking to get a fair purchase price on the hybrid CR-V or any of its competitors, go on kbb.com. The link is in the description. Now I'm gonna throw it into a corner. Competition for the CR-V Hybrid include the aforementioned Toyota RAV4, Ford Escape, Hyundai Tucson, and the Kia Sportage. The 6th generation CR-V will only have 4 trims: EX, Sport, EXL, and Sport Touring. EX and EXL will give you the turbocharged 1.5 liter engine, and pricing starts at just over 31 grand plus destination. The Sport and Sport Touring trims, starting at just under $32,500, will have the more powerful hybrid engine and will include 2 rear USB ports, a sunroof, black roof rails, black alloy wheels, and sport black front and rear bumpers. If you're looking for amenities like the 9-inch touchscreen, sport leather seats, Bose premium audio system, and hands-free power tailgate, the Sport Touring trim starts at $38,600. All-wheel drive can be had for an extra $1,500 on all but the Sport Touring trim, which has all-wheel drive standard. The CR-V has been on the road for more than 20 years, and you see them everywhere. But there's a good reason for that. Honda does it again with their newest generation of the CR-V hybrid. So, if you're looking for fuel efficiency, good tech, and a nice roomy interior, this may be a good option for you. They push back the A-pillars a little bit, but you really do have a really wide view of the road. Sorry, my throat got a little clogged up because I'm so excited for visibility. Ooh, yeah.